Wow, wow, wow. Now look at you all dolled up to the nines. I didn't know we were hanging out today, let alone going anywhere so fancy. You should have told me. Then we could have gotten ready together, like we always do. Well, like we usually do when you're not running around being so secretive. Don't pretend not to know. I see those hearty little gazes past the screen during movie night, and that little smile on your face right now. You're planning something. Something secretive and something fun, and I want in, baby. Oh, well, this must be an occasion if you're not hanging out with me. As if I wasn't already the greatest friend in the world. I'm the greatest friend you got, so, sis, what's your game? You're going on a date? Well, look at you! And here I thought you were totally going to be my bitch forever. My little baby baby's grown up and found herself a man. I thought I'd never see the day. Though, I do have to warn you, dating apps can be a little fickle, sweetheart. You can end up meeting a person who says one thing, and they'll end up wanting the total opposite. Trust me. Every guy out there thinks he wants to be a dad until, well, I suppose some of these lessons you have to learn on your own. God rest your silly, stupid heart. Still, I hope you plan on being careful. Being strangers in this day and age is dangerous, let alone when you're all on your own and lulled into a false sense of security, so you better be. This isn't your first date. Wait, seriously? This isn't the first date? You mean to tell me you had the first date already and you didn't tell me? Me? Your best friend? Me? The same me that zipped up your prom dress at 17 and tied your shoes at 7? Me? Me? I mean, no offense, but I think that violates some law of sandbox love. I tell you literally everything. I told you when I first met Chris. I've told you everything about Chris, from the fact that he has a tooth gap that makes him kind of whistle when he breathes, to the fact that he gets all hot at the idea of me slipping on his boxers, and I personally find that revolting. I've told you everything from our first date to our last fight to how he takes his coffee, and now I find out you've seen this guy more than once and I know nothing? Nothing at all? What's his name? Never mind that. How'd you meet? Never mind that, actually. What date are you on? Second? Third? If it's been over 7 dates in 3 months, we are going to have a serious talk about boundaries, babe. 4th date. 2 months. Well, look at you, sneaking your hand into the cookie jar, looking like a kitten who cut the cream. Look at you. I'd be more impressed if I didn't feel like your dad with the way you've been apparently sneaking around to see this gentleman. Though I doubt he's anything of the sort. A gentleman? Gentle is probably the last word you want to use for him, isn't it? Isn't it? Look, babe, baby, baby. I know you. You've always been a little more private than me. A little bit more willing to keep things close to the vest, and I appreciate that. But I always find out. I always do. Either I see something I shouldn't, or you flat out slip up, or you just tell me because keeping secrets from me makes your heart race and your knees weak. And if I know I can fix it like I fix everything in your silly, silly life, I will. But I always find out what I need to know. Sometimes when I didn't even know, I didn't know. But the thing is, it's never taken this long before. Isn't that just as curious? Wouldn't you say? I think I would. I would say. So, what I can gather from that is that you're actively trying to keep this secret from me. Which draws me to the question, why would you keep this a secret from me? And naturally, the only conclusion I can draw is that the guy you're dating is total scum. Maybe he wasn't at first, sure. Maybe you just kept it a secret because you tend to get overly excited about these kinds of things and you didn't want to make a fool of yourself, tossing yourself head over heels over a guy who wasn't even worth bending at the waist for, let alone throwing yourself at his feet. You wanted to make sure it was a serious affair. You wanted to be sure. You wanted to make sure it would last before we began doing double dates. Side by side, friends as friends. But then you do figure out those feelings, and you're sure as sure of those, but you're not so sure about him. I mean, sure, you love him, and you can't help it, but you look at him, and you look at me and Chris, and you realize things aren't quite as right as they could be. As they should be. You love him, but you're not so sure if you always like him. Maybe he runs cold when I've always known you to run as hot as a tea kettle. Maybe he's absent at a time when you demand a shoulder to lean on. Maybe his smile is mean, or he doesn't laugh very often, or he doesn't look at you just right. Maybe there isn't anything really wrong with him. Maybe there doesn't have to be. Maybe he's perfect even. But still, you hesitated. You hesitated. The you I've come to know so well teems with joy. It radiates off of you like you were flat out born in Chernobyl, even when you try to hide it. I've always been able to see it, because it glows as bright as the sun. Maybe it's because I've known you for forever. Maybe it's because if I'm always going to know, you've never had a reason to try harder to hide it. But this boy of yours, he makes you hide. Or he makes you want to hide it. Of course, that's just my theory. Given that you haven't been too keen on providing one of your own regarding why in the world you're letting some nobody step up to the plate and take a swing at your batter's box. Wait. Don't tell me. Don't tell me he's actually run the bases. Oh my gosh, don't act like it's such a crazy question. I told you when Chris and I did it for the first time. I've told you, like, every time we've done it. Sometimes you've even been here when we've done it. And I'm crazy for asking if you have ever. I mean, have you? Fourth date seems awful soon for something like that. I mean, for you. I mean, look at you. You're like a newborn fawn when it comes to things like this. You're so docile and sincere. You're delicate, babe. The idea of some guy thinking he can put his hands all over you, it steams me right up. Oh my god. You don't have to say it with so much sass, but yes, the fact that you just had hand-holding is very reassuring to me. Yes, indeed, in fact. Babe, baby, 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 but baby, don't get like that. It's nothing personal. I just think that, well, you're just so cute. I could eat you up right here, right now, and I'd find it easy as pie. And I'm straight as an arrow. The minute anyone else realizes, you're absolutely, totally fucked. And I mean literally. They'll think you're easy. I don't know. I just don't think you're ready for that sort of thing. I mean, I don't mean to brag, but I've known you my entire life. And I know you. I know you're acting differently. You're keeping secrets. You're pushing yourself. You're trying to be different as if who you are isn't written right on your face. Oh. My, you really are trying to change. Talk about being a go-getter. You plan on trying to skip yourself merrily along to first base? Tonight? On this date? Baby, you're gonna initiate? No. Sorry, I just... You? Initiate? I can hardly imagine it myself. You've been hiding behind me all your life, and now you think you're going to be the one to make the first move on Mr. Right? I can just barely believe it myself. It's almost too cute to imagine. Well, go on. Show me. Show me what you're gonna do. You and apparently Mr. Right are gonna be going out on the town, going to dinner, watching a movie, touring an art gallery, the works, whatever you like to do. And you are gonna put the moves on him, riz him up and knock him dead. How are you gonna do it? I'm sorry. It's just your face. Your face is just so serious. It's too precious to bear. I could honestly die. Adorable. Adorable. Now, okay. Now look, I've been out of the field for quite a long time. But I have bagged myself a consistent man, and, well, you have seen Chris, so I think you know I can get as good as I give. So I think you know I can get as good as I give. Watch and learn how you initiate a kiss. You don't need any of this pointless tease, to bite your lip, to twirl your hair. All the needy bullshit guys claim to love. Coy is cute when you don't know a thing about a thing. Always choose the route of self-advocation over purposeful dependence. Confident over cute. Oh, no. Guys hate that. Unless you get a real bottom feeder of a man. Someone willing to worship the ground you walk and lick the boot that steps on him. No, that isn't your type at all. I should know. And really, you should know better. Don't be mistaken, pet. I'm not doing this to help you bag your boy. I'm doing this to claim what has always been mine and what he can never have. Your first kiss. Now the rest of your life exists in technicality. You can tell him that this is technically your first kiss with him, your first time kissing a boy. But I can guarantee that kiss will never be as sweet or as soft as your very first. You should know just as well, baby, but baby, I always get what I want. What I love, I devour, and what I covet, I keep.